航空公司感谢您的合作，并祝您旅途愉快。
We are off the plane in Beijing. It is Tuesday, May the 8th, 2:45 in the afternoon, or thereabouts. Look at this big engine, man. What a turbine that was. It is our first night, but the whole group is not here yet. We have arrived from the airport.
And point out, we've been up for over 24 hours already.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, and then, do you want some Coke too, Jean?
So my English name everybody knows already, Harry. Okay, Harry. And actually, Harry has nothing to do with my Chinese name. That's only my English name given by the professor when I was in the university. And when I studied in the university, we had a professor coming to teach us in the university. The lady was from Boston College. Why the Temple of Heaven? From the name, you can tell this place was somewhere the emperor used to offer sacrifice to the God of Heaven. Why the emperor did it? Because China used to be agriculture. He stopped to pray to the God every year to make sure all his people have good weather, good harvest. So no matter which dynasty that was, the first thing the emperor did after building a new palace, they would start building a new Temple of Heaven. So make sure they have a place to go to worship. So the first capital city was Nanking. The third emperor of Ming Dynasty moved the capital from Nanking to Beijing. And then he started building the Forbidden City. Right after the Forbidden City was finished, he started building the Temple of Heaven. As I told you, he needed a place to pray to the God, asking for good weather, good harvest. So this place was used in two dynasties, Ming and Qing. Okay, so the emperors came here every year, usually twice a year. First time came to ask for good weather, and the second time, came back to say thank you to the God, something like Thanksgiving, in the United States. The last ceremony was in Qing Dynasty, and after the Qing Dynasty collapsed, no more ceremonies, and no more talking to the God of Heaven. Okay, in China, nowadays we got a bigger population, 1.4 billion already, so we don't talk directly to the God anymore. If everybody talks, to the God at the same time, it's too noisy. The God cannot hear anybody. So what do we do nowadays? If you have any special requests, send him emails. I think the God is busy checking, deleting.
This is day one. The Graceland group, a little road weary, but they've had a fairly good night's sleep. We've had a few issues between travelers already. I've already had to put some fires out. But having said that, I think we can rally. We have Weldon and Colleen Jordan, all the way from California, Davis, California. We have Byron Constance, the esteemed Byron Constance, his beloved wife Jane Taylor, who I think today gets the award for snazziest outfit. But then having said that, look at Catherine Greenberg. I mean, Catherine Greenberg, you go girl. I can't read it. Temple of Heaven. Proud husbands getting video pictures of their spouses. So Linda, what was it like out there?
Very uncoordinated, but it's a really gentle move, but you still feel your heartbeat going up. It's very cool. Liked it a lot.
Many people come here for exercise, that's one thing. Another important thing, socialize. You get to know more people. Okay, it's Chinese people. no matter what we are, in China, in the United States, in Europe, people like to be together. Many people don't like to be alone back home. So imagine you're retired, you stay home the whole day long. What do? You don't need the whole day cleaning, cooking. And so a lot of people, they come here for the morning time exercise. And then after this, they go home. Maybe buy some vegetables for the lunch or for dinner. And a lot of ladies actually do shopping early morning, go to the veggie market, to buy everything already for the whole day. And then come out for exercise. This is something very popular. People play that the whole year round. And especially in winter time, if you play like this, you feel warm. After 5-10 minutes, warm up, very quick. Chinese people.
Very good.
Yes, actually made with Hotpot. And then gate feathers. But nowadays, they only use something rubber at the bottom. Then still gate feathers. Some people told me this is something like your package. So usually.
Oh, you can use your hand.
Okay, let's go a little further. You can see more facilities.
Not good. Do not try this at home.
Come on.
What is your name, sir? Very good.
Hey.
Very good. What should we ask you?
He wants
Wow. This is lovely. We need one of these at Graceland.
massage at the same time.
That's it, Ev. Get it good.
This is great.
That's amazing. It is. Well, I'm going to do this one right here. Get that one.
Cindy!
Hip replacements.
How are they feeling?
Wonderful.
Well, I think this is a good test for them.
Absolutely.
Hello. Speak English? Speak English? Hello.
Okay, so this is the #1 building, the most impressive one in the whole temple complex, built in Ming Dynasty. But this was not the first building. The first one was something like a square building, but unfortunately burned down after hit by the lightning. So nowadays, that's why you see lightning rods on top of many buildings, because in the old China, many buildings hit by lightning, burned down. Why so easily burned down? Because Chinese structure not like the European castles. Castles usually made with big stones, big rocks. A lot of Chinese buildings mainly wooden structure. Okay, imagine after several hundred years, the wood really dry, and once hit by lightning, very easy to catch fire. And so after the first one gone, so the emperor had a new one built. This time, a round building with 3 layers of roof, and also 3 different colors for the first few years, and including blue, green, and indigo. But eventually in Qing Dynasty, the emperor Qianlong, one guy called Qianlong, he said, this place only for the God of heaven. We should use only one pure color, blue, because the blue is the color of the sky. Okay, so that's why now you only see blue on the roof. When we go to the Forbidden City in the afternoon, you see on the roof for the emperor's buildings, including the office building, living quarter building, all yellow, because yellow was a royal color for the emperors. But the emperor came here only to pray. This is not the residence for the emperor, so blue for the god, for the heaven. So the special place of this building, see the whole thing actually supported by wooden pillars. And when you stand by the doorway, you may find three rings or three circles of wooden pillars. The inner circle, only 4 pillars, beautifully decorated with gold paint. Those 4 supporting the top roof. Okay, and very tall pillars, and why number 4? Number 4 stands for 4 seasons in a year. The second ring of pillars supporting the second roof stands for 12 months in a year. And the last ring also 12. You can see the last ring pillars already from here. Okay, so supporting the last roof. And this 12 in number stand for the 12 time divisions in a day. In all China, they didn't use 24 hours. They use 12 hours. Okay, so one hour in old time stands for 2 hours nowadays. So that's why 4, 12, 12. So everything symbolic. When you go out there, count the number of the steps. Each level should be 9, 9, 9, 9. In China, 9 is a lucky number. For heaven, for common people, that's a number for longevity. Okay, for long life. So 9 is a symbol for long life. So later on, you can go up there and just stand by the doorway, take a look at everything inside. Of course, you can also walk around the building. You'll see the Beijing all around you, and some old buildings, some taller buildings. And there's another building over there at the back. That's a storage room. And if you go there, you also see a few tablets in the small shrines on both sides. And on the higher level, once again, the tablet for the Jade Emperor. And then you see small ones for the stars, for the sun, for the moon. So when the emperor came here to pray, all those tablets would be moved to this place. Okay, placed on the different levels according to the different gods, which they put the different gods on different levels. And the emperor would walk into the building and kowtow first. Kowtow, you kneel down and head touching the ground 3 times, and then he would stand back up, start talking to the god. And after talking, kneel down, kowtow again. And then he would come out to bring all the presents into the building to the God of Heaven. Do you know what the number 1 thing was brought in for the God? A piece of jade. Chinese people value jade a lot. Chinese people, we love gold and silver stuff, but jade is more important. And in China, we have a jade culture. A baby got a piece of little jade to keep the evils away. The emperors use jade stamp, and they use jade pieces for the crown, a jade belt to show the other people this is the dignity, the power. And rich people, high officials in the old time, we opened one of the Han Dynasty tombs. One of the high officials, the whole body in jade cloth. Hundreds of jade pieces connected with golden threads, because people believe that jade can keep the whole body from decaying. So jade used a lot, in local life for wedding, for engagement. So ladies always want a piece of jade. For young generation, after the wedding ring, a piece of jade is a must. Wedding ring is nothing Chinese. Okay, my wife and I, we don't even have wedding rings. You don't see us wearing anything. Okay, so that's better. Actually, nobody knows if you are married or not. So we say this. We are still, MBA, married but available. Okay. So you don't wear, we don't wear them. But of course, a lot of couples, they do have wedding rings back home, but they don't wear it. It's not a Chinese culture. So many Chinese ladies always a piece of jade, hidden somewhere, down below. And so after the jade piece brought in, and animals would be brought in one by one. Of course, every time after bring something in, emperor got a kneel down kowtow. So when the emperor did it, he was not by himself. Officials all around the building, high officials here, lower ranking ones would return, to the forbidden city, and not far away. But of course, he never walked himself. Usually in a sedan chair, sometimes in a horse-drawn carriage. And on the 2 sides, you also see 2 buildings, and these 2 used to be storage rooms. In the old time, and after the ceremony, all the flags, banners, different color flags would be put into the different buildings, and some other utensils for the sacrifice would be also in there. but nowadays are exhibition rooms. I recommend this building later. If you want to go into the building, see they have old pictures from different periods, of history. You see what the temple looks like. You will see the pictures from World War II time. Japanese officers standing up there with their wives, and you also see British soldiers and officers who invaded Beijing in 1900s. And also some other pictures show you the renovation when this building was renovated before the Olympics in the year 2000.
That thing that's leaning up there on the second.
Oh, sorry, that's the name of the building because we're on the side. When you walk over to that side, you see a peak. So that's the name, from the entrance. So now, what about half an hour? Is that long enough for you guys? Let me see what time. Yeah. So this is the main building. On the opposite side, you see the big building there with a.
Uneven ground, so be careful.
Come on a field trip, and they're taking notes and having to fill out forms that help them prove that they know about the Temple of Heaven. Much like U.S. kids take field trips in the States. Leaving the Temple of Heaven, peering through the entrance doors, the upper level of the entranceway. This is just outside the Temple of Heaven entrance, and I have a vision here. This is going to be the site of the next Conrad Davis Thanksgiving football game. You can see its location to the entranceway to the temple.
全体员工，恭祝您游览愉快，平安快乐。天堂。
Let me know. Hello.
Did you enjoy the Graceland group?
Very much.
How would you tell other people about us? What did you see in us? Did you like us really?
Of course, I have no reason doesn't like it.
We had good students, didn't we?
Yes, you are very good. Someone has much interest about Tai Chi. This is my favorite. I like you very much. I wish you like this park. This is my home. I spend half day here.
So here they go. They've earned lunch. Tai Chi is in the books. Very impressive. Very impressive attitude, good energy. These Gracelanders paid attention. I had my concerns. We were asked not to take too many pictures, but inside this area there are families, moms and dads, who have shown up with informational cards on their young people who are looking to be married. They have come with pieces of paper that talk about who their kids are, their achievements, and kind of like arranged marriages sort of thing. Isn't that amazing? Out of respect, we did not videotape inside there. I wish I could have. This is the Graceland bus. Pretty good. We like it. We're happy with it.
And then look ahead over here, you see two beautiful city gates. These two gates were from Ming Dynasty. Okay, built in Ming Dynasty, of course, during the past 600 years, they were renovated again and again. You know, imagine a building without a renovation already collapsed many times. So why two gates? Actually, all China, in many cities, they have a double, two gates actually means double defense. And imagine when the enemy soldiers broke through the first gate, still another one ahead of them. So the soldiers stay in the tower, they could shoot arrows through the windows on the different sides. So we call that building Arrow Tower. Okay, and when you see the old city gates, that means the city wall should be here along the same road. So the city walls actually goes both directions, but unfortunately knocked down in the 1950s, in the 1960s. Okay, so no more city wall along this road. So in Beijing nowadays, you still see 4 or 5 old city gates standing in the different parts. Just give people a rough idea where the old city gates, where the old city wall, used to be. And now, please follow me. We go through here.
We're headed to the Forbidden City. Heading to the Forbidden City. Largest palace in the world.
Oh, okay, sorry. Sent on the paper for cremation, but after he really died, nobody wanted to send him to the crematory because the people all loved him. So eventually they learned from Russians. Do you remember what the Russians did to Lenin? They put him in a crystal coffin. Okay, so leave him there forever, so make sure people can still see him. And so this one was put up in 1970s, and when this place opens, every morning there will be thousands of people lining up in a long row, waiting to go inside to see him. But when people walk in, you are not allowed to carry anything, no bags, no cameras, and no cell phones. So you walk in with your ID. Okay, and you go in from one gate, go out the other. You can stay inside probably for only 5-10 seconds. And because, nobody is allowed to stop there and look. You have to look at him while walking by. So the waiting time might be 1 hour, 2 hours, but many Chinese still love to see him. And many people, they have never been to Beijing before. Probably like in the United States, many people have never been to New York or Washington. So once they come to Beijing, the first thing they want to do, go see Chairman Mao. The second thing to do, go see the national flag raising ceremony every morning. Okay, so that's around maybe 5 o'clock, 5:30. And also every morning here, there will be thousands of people. So that means this building is something very recent, not old building, not from Ming or Qing Dynasty. Chairman Mao, so in recent years, most of the people will still love him. And he was the first chairman in this country, and Chinese believe he made the Chinese people stand up. Because before the People's Republic of China was founded, China was invaded by so many countries. The people were bullied by foreigners. So eventually he founded the People's Republic of China, the life getting better. When he was in charge, actually the economy was doing good for a couple of years. But unfortunately for his late age, we had a cultural revolution. And a lot of people suffered, of course. So even today, so the feelings towards him are a little complicated. Most of the people still love him, but some of the people who suffered from the revolution, they don't really love him, that much. So to the Chinese, and the Chairman Mao is like Washington to Americans in the United States. Okay, the first person who set up a country. So later, when we go closer, you still see Chairman Mao picture on the gate, above the gate. So no others on the national flag. Red color, that's the color of our blood. So the original meaning is revolution. Okay, red color means revolution. Yellow star, we are yellow race people. We call ourselves yellow people, where you guys are white people. Okay, and at the same time we have black people. So we are yellow race people. And why 5 stars? The big one represents Communist Party based on workers. Okay, because at the very beginning, most of the party members only workers. And then gradually they had more people. So the other 4 small stars represent farmers, business people, intellectuals, and soldiers. That means people from all walks of life, okay, stay together. So that's the meaning of the colors and the stars.
The second one, you said farmers and business people. Oh, business.
Business people, yeah. And then you also see 2 big buildings on the 2 sides. And in Ming and Qing Dynasty, nothing like this. Okay, they had a small buildings on the 2 sides, a long row of houses, only 1 story high. Because they used to be the office building for the Ming and Qing Dynasty officials and officers, so they work in those buildings. But in 1949, when Chairman Mao came in, the Russians, a lot of Russian experts followed him to Beijing, including architects. They stood about the gate, they look around, they say, oh my God, Beijing look too ugly. So you need some big buildings to show the whole world new China. So they knock small buildings down, put these 2 up. When you look at them, I think you can tell they're kind of Russian architecture.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one, our National History Museum. If you're a museum person, you love Chinese history, you can be in there the whole week. Too many things to see. Okay, they got 4 levels and 3 above the ground and 1 level underneath. So many things to see, pictures, books, all kind of documents. And it's free of charge, but you have to make a reservation online. And then you can go in, you cannot walk in. Oh, you are never good enough. Nothing like that in this country. No speeches, no pop. And they do it alone. And eventually the Communist people vote for oh, look at the Americans, 2 parties running the country. That's better. Human rights, democracy, blah, blah, blah. This is why China is not like that. And they, started demonstrating, they also for fighting against corruption and different requests. And the students who were from all over the country, they occupied the whole square, thousands of tents put up. They refused to go back to school for education. Eventually, all the traffic paralyzed. Okay, many major streets, no traffic at all. Even the police officer couldn't handle the situation, too many young people. And eventually the troops got involved. Why? Because imagine, once a big demonstration like that took place, bad people, bad guys were shot and burn shops, killing people. And, I remember they say they killed one of the soldiers and hung the soldier somewhere on a bridge for several days. So eventually, the troops got involved because everything out of control. So this is something painful in China, and we don't really want to talk about this again and again, because that's something and shouldn't happen. And we don't want to see anybody die for that. But anyway, and it happened. I think it's also happened. I think in the United States somewhere. I don't remember the
Kent State University.
Kent State University also shooting when the students were there.
That was 4 or 5.
Something similar. Bad things might happen anywhere in the whole world. We don't want that to happen again. So that's why China actually, we don't want to see demonstrations, because the big population, once a demonstration starts, there are always bad guys, people who are not happy with the government, the whole society, will show up. So that's going to be a big chaos. It's no good for anyone.
This is Tiananmen Square.
So once the government sees more and more talking about one issue, It has been there for many, many years. How about years ago we had a...
And I didn't tell her what I was going to do.
He's got his hand on the earth.
Okay, everyone. Eventually, you are here inside the Forbidden City. Okay, so we came through one of the halls, one of the gates. Actually, altogether 5 of them. For this building. The one in the very middle, reserved only for the emperor. And the empress, number 1 wife, she could use the middle gate once in a lifetime. That's on the wedding day. Okay, usually after wedding, and she doesn't really walk through the middle gate again. And the other 4 smaller gates, 2 for the high-ranking officials, emperor family members. The last 2 on the father side for the low-ranking officials. So the different officials got to use different gates. Under the same reason why 5 bridges. Okay, the different bridge for different people. You are not supposed to walk on the wrong one. Otherwise, there's going to be a punishment. So for the whole Forbidden City, the construction was between 1406 to 1420. So it took quite a few years. Just imagine, look at the buildings, and also the building like this. Imagine how much time needed for getting all the materials, like marble stones, granite stones, and even the big timber for the pillars supporting all the buildings. And once they got all the material, they start working on it. So altogether, something like 14 years time, they finished the whole thing. But right after the construction, and a few buildings called fire burned down. So buildings burned down, rebuilt, burned down, rebuilt. So a lot of buildings actually not really 600 years old anymore. So nowadays, walking through the Forbidden City is like walking through layers of history. Because some buildings might be 600 years old, some maybe only 200-300 years old, rebuilt by the different dynasty emperors. And now take a look at the colors of the buildings. Actually, you see yellow on the roof, because the yellow color was a royal color for the emperor family members. Common people, even the high-ranking officials, they were not allowed to get dressed in yellow. Otherwise, hands off. Okay, that's also going to be death penalty. And a red color, you see red, actually for pillars, for windows, for the walls. And a red color, because in China, red for happiness. It's a happy color. So that's why for the Chinese young people on the wedding day, a lot of ladies still like to be in red. Okay, you may see them in white. That's not a Chinese culture, that's Western. And it came into China only a couple of years ago. So what many young people did, they take a wedding picture, and after getting engaged, a wedding picture in white. But on the wedding day, many ladies still prefer to be in red. Because in many provinces in China, and white color is still used for funerals, not for happy day. Okay, so but no, anyway, we got both. But the younger generation are learning very fast. So for the whole Forbidden City, it's a big place. If you didn't really read any books about this place, you have no idea. Many people probably imagine it's a tiny small place. You can walk through in 10 minutes. But actually, we gotta be here for more than 1 hour time, maybe 1.5 hours. It's about 1 kilometer from this gate to the other. Okay, so 4 gates in 4 directions. This is the southern gate. And then we have an eastern gate, western gate, northern gate 1 kilometer away. As I mentioned, this place is one-way traffic. We cannot turn around and go back this way. And we have to continue the walk, and we get out from the other side. And then that's going to be the Jingshan Park, where you're going to do a little climbing. Climb the snow.
You left that out!
We'll see how you feel. If you want to skip that, you can skip, no problem. And Forbidden City, big place, 2 different sections. And first, we're going to walk through the walking quarter. So-called walking quarter means the buildings only used by the emperors for ceremonies, for celebrations. They didn't sleep in here. The second part is called the living quarter. When you get there, you'll see the big buildings along the central line. You'll see many small buildings on the 2 sides. Those are the living chambers for the concubines. Because every emperor had a lot of concubines, so that's why you see more buildings for the second part. After the second section, the living quarter, there's a small but a very pretty garden, okay, with pine trees and stones and pavilions, water pond. That's where the emperor used to go for relaxation. Okay, so that's what you're going to see here in the Forbidden City. Walking quarter, living quarter, the garden. But even these places will be maybe around 1.5 hours already. Okay, this place will be closed at 5 o'clock. So we should have plenty of time to do the major part. And many people still believe for the whole Forbidden City, 9,999 rooms. Okay, so what's called a room? Look at the building. The space between every 2 pillars is considered as 1 room. So altogether 9,999.
Imagine if a baby was born here, you put the baby in a different room each day. After using all of them, guess how old he's going to be?
110.
He's going to be 27 years old. Okay, so only a story to tell you what 9999 room means. But actually, not that many rooms. Only a common story from the people, and eventually they counted. They found out something like 8,470 or something like that. So not really 9999. But anyway, 9 is a lucky number. So that's why when we walk through the doorway, there are doorknobs. Okay, so 9 by 9 on the big doors. And if you see 8 by 8, that's negative because the Chinese believe in yin and yang. So usually we have 9 by 9. If you see 8 by 8, there could be a gate for the dead emperor to go out. After the emperor died, the body will be taken through the gate. So that's why different numbers. Okay, so for the first few minutes, we're gonna walk along the central axis. This is a central axis not only for Forbidden City, actually that's for whole Beijing city. If you walk along the central axis further away, after the Coal Hill Park, the small hill, and that's Drum Tower and Bell Tower from Ming Dynasty. You are gonna see that part, in 2 days' time, the old neighborhood. Okay, straight ahead from that place, keep going further to the north, you will see Olympic stadiums, the bird's nest. Okay, so the main structures in Beijing sitting on this central axis. Beijing people call it Dragon Line. If you got a property sitting on this Dragon Line, you're gonna be millionaires. And so that's why in the old neighborhood, we still have a lot of old buildings along the central axis. One small yard, something like 1,000 square feet. You still have buildings standing on the four sides. That's what we call quadrangles. Okay, from Ming Dynasty or from Qing Dynasty. And 1 yard like that, 1,000 square feet space, something like 6 million American dollars. Okay, so why like that? And when we don't have that many left, of course the value is going higher and higher. The other thing is people believe in feng shui. I think you guys you're familiar with the name. Chinese people, we pay a lot of attention to feng shui. If you have the property sitting on the Dragon Line, that means you will be lucky. Not only one generation, a lot of future generations will be having good luck. Officials used to work every morning before the sunrise. They line up. They walk in from Tiananmen Square to this place to see the emperor. So something like a morning meeting. Okay, they ask questions, ask permissions, and sometimes it could be a few minutes. Sometimes it could be more than 1 hour. This depends on how many things they have to discuss. But it happened for most of the emperors for most of the time. But some of the Ming Dynasty emperors were lazy. They didn't really do that every day. For example, one of the emperors liked making furniture. He was like a carpenter himself.
Really?
He got plenty of furniture in the backyard, but he still liked making his own. Okay, so he spent a lot of time in the backyard, didn't work hard at all. Another one won a long life. He spent a lot of years in the backyard making pills, what they call longevity pills, by using the Chinese herbs, minerals from the mountains. Okay, so eventually he poisoned himself and didn't really have a long life. So that means not every emperor is a hard-working one. Although we have so many dynasties in China, first emperor usually a good one because that's a founder of a new dynasty. The son, the second one, is still good because he saw what the father doing the whole life, still working hard. The third one still good. Okay, maybe from the fourth one onwards would be Mama Hu Hu. Mama Hu Hu, Chinese for so-so. Okay, so and eventually, one of them probably getting terrible, farmers rebelling. Okay, the rebellion farmers leader could become the next emperor, and the story repeated again. So that's why, in China, several thousand year history, we have so many dynasties. Actually, everything repeated again and again for many, many years. Eventually, until 1911, the revolution, we are done with dynasty. Okay, so this one is the most important building in the whole Forbidden City. And why I say so, because in the building, there is a dragon chair. I mentioned the 24 emperors from Ming Dynasty, Qing Dynasty. They were all crowned in this building. Okay, so when a new guy came to power, the first thing to do, walk into the building, sit on the dragon chair, put the crown on the top. just to tell the public I'm the new ruler. Okay, so that happened to 24 emperors. And many of you saw the movie The Last Emperor. Okay, if you saw the movie, probably this place looks familiar to you. That's where the movie was shot. So
Really?
the dragon chair is still inside. And for the last emperor in the movie, and when he was only a 3-year-old, he was put on the dragon chair. Okay, too many people standing around, too many officials down below, chanting long life and things like that. So the little emperor was really scared and started crying. And the father was the regent, standing beside him, trying to make him happy by saying, "Don't cry, everything will be soon finished." He keeps saying the same thing. So when somebody heard him, what he was talking, and told him, "Shut up, don't use the word finish, it's not a good sign. And this is a celebration time, don't use that word." But anyway, a lot of people today believe that the dynasty finished very quickly, simply because what his father said. He said the wrong thing, so brought bad luck to the little boy. So the boy was an emperor in here for only 3 years. Okay, eventually in 1911 revolution, soldiers came in, but he was told you still can stay in the Forbidden City, but not in the front part. You got to stay in the backyards. So he spent a few more years in the living quarters, and he was still emperor in the living quarter, and still have a lot of servants. He got paid by the Republican government until the year 1924. A warlord came to Beijing. The power of Beijing changed from hand to hand. Another warlord came, sent him a message: leave the Forbidden City as soon as possible. Otherwise, we're going to bomb the whole place. So he left in a hurry. He went to another city called Tianjin, which is about 100 kilometers away. And at that place, he was found by the Japanese. The Japanese have been waiting for a long time to find him, and because they want to use him as a puppet emperor. Okay, so that's why I mentioned the story already in the tour bus. The Japanese took him to Manchuria and put him on the dragon chair in the palace and told him, "You are still the emperor for China." So the Japanese were using him as a puppet emperor to show the public in China, "We are helping your emperor, we are not invading." And the last emperor tried to use the Japanese troops to regain power. Okay, so they were using each other. But in 1945, remember what happened in 1945? The Russians came in. Okay, they came in to help out to fight the Japanese. The last emperor was captured by the soldiers, put in jail because he worked for the wrong people. And when Chairman Mao came to Beijing, this guy got a freedom. He got a job in the botanical garden, worked there as a gardener, and also he was elected as one of the congressmen. Also went to the big building at Tiananmen Square to sit down with other people, talk about politics, everything. Everybody knew he was the emperor before, but he was not treated as emperor anymore. He was an ordinary person. He still kept his own Manchurian name. Okay, he was very good at calligraphy. He wrote a book, From Emperor to Citizen. So if you want to read his whole life story, and you can find the book, I'm sure, on Amazon or some other places. You can read the book in many versions nowadays, not only in Chinese, but also in English, in French, Italian, translated in into many languages. So eventually he died in the year 1968 at the age of 62. Okay, no children and no kids at all. But he still had a few brothers and nephews living in Beijing. And once again, they were not royal anymore, just common people. Okay, so the year he died was the year I was born. So sometimes I wonder if I was the last emperor before, and come back as a tour guide, show you around my place, and tell you all the different stories. Okay, and for the building here, actually, you see some people standing up there. And what we do up there, you just go closer, take a look at the dragon chair. We couldn't go in. Okay, nowadays nobody could walk in anymore. Only the presidents, when they come, they could step in, take a quick look, and then come out. Because the floor still from Qing Dynasty, beautiful bricks. If 1,000 of people walk in every day, the floor might be damaged very quickly. And so that's why they don't want people to go in anymore. But anyway, you will get close enough to see the dragon chair. You can take a photo. And then after that, we will see two more buildings in Qing, high up in heaven.
Of course, the dragon sometimes stays in the ocean. And the Dragon King got 9 children. So this is one of the 9. Okay, got a dragon head but turtle body. The Chinese use it as a symbol for longevity. Okay, so once you see something like a turtle, long life again. The other side you see a crane. That's another symbol for longevity. But this one also got a practical usage. And you can see on the back of the bird, there's something like a cover or the lid. You can remove that, put the burning incense into the hollow body. Put the cover back on. The smoke comes out of the bird's mouth. Ooh. And that's what they did, for the ceremonies, for the celebrations. Okay, they did the same thing to the turtle, and so make it smoky here, and make it look like heaven. Because the Chinese always believe up there in heaven, always a little smoky, like beautiful clouds all around. So that's what they did, in the old time. Okay, this is already a little higher place, but because of the big buildings, you don't see much of Beijing city. But if you turn around, you do see a tall building on the other side. And the tallest one you can see is still not finished yet. They're still working on the top. And the lower one, and it used to be the tallest a couple of years ago, but now it's going to be the second. So you see the one still going up. I don't know, maybe more than 100 floors. But it's going to be a new office building. So that's what Beijing, as I mentioned, we don't have too many sky rises. But when you go to Shanghai, you will see a lot. In the 1900s, when the foreign soldiers came, they were from, we call them allied troops. They were from 8 different countries. They got here, the soldiers saw them, far away, from far away place, shining, the gold shining under the sunshine. They thought it's something pure gold. So they came close, they used their bayonets to scrape the gold off. But after trying only a few seconds, they realized it's only one layer gilded. But down below it's a bayonet. But the soldiers still want more gold powder. So they keep, scratching. So that's why all the prints actually left by the soldiers from 1900. So why we have the water pots like this, many people believe. And we got water inside all the time. For winter time, they put a cover on the top, burn something from down below to keep the water from freezing. So once the building catch fire, you can use the water to put it down. Okay, but other people say, look at the size of the building and then you look at the size of this water jar. The water is never enough. So other people say it should be done according to the Chinese feng shui theory. Because the Chinese people believe in feng shui, they believe water gathers everything, including wealth, money. So that's why they have water jars in many, many different courtyards. For Chinese people, even today living in the condos, many families still have a water jar in their sitting room. But it's not a porcelain thing or not a bronze stuff, porcelain jar. You may have water, flowers or the goldfish in it. But we still believe, they can bring good luck. But of course, imagine for the hot summer time, temperature high. You have water in the room is good, for the humidity. Make sure it's not too dry. So this place only for the emperor to work, for celebration ceremonies. They didn't really sleep in. Second building much smaller, inside. So that's where the emperor used to sit down, take a break before and after the ceremony and changing clothes. So that's the main function of this building. And also every year before going to the Temple of Heaven to worship to the god, this is a place for rehearsal. Emperor had to learn from officials and who were in charge of the rituals to learn what to do, what to say. So the last building there, and some emperors use it for New Year's Eve celebration, and emperor would show up in the building, eating, drinking together with a lot of officials, including those who are already retired, just for the New Year celebration. But most of the years in Ming and Qing, that's a place for examinations. And you may wonder how the emperor chose high-ranking officials. They did it through examination system. So in the whole country, they have different levels, like a county level, and a provincial level, national level. After the national level examination, if you pass, you are already kind of officials, but you have to wait for jobs. Maybe after somebody dies and somebody gets retired, and the high official, will talk to you, you'll go there. To work there. But if you still want to go higher, then come to this building for the imperial examination. If you pass this one, you are going to be high-ranking officials immediately after that. So the topic will be given by the emperor. The emperor gives you a topic, you write an article by using your own
idea, Confucius ideas, whatever. But first of all, your calligraphy got to be beautiful. If calligraphy looks terrible, the emperor didn't even want to read their paper. So that's why the Chinese have to spend a lot of years practicing how to use writing brush, okay, to make sure the calligraphy is beautiful enough. Nowadays, unfortunately, many Chinese, we don't pay too much attention to calligraphy anymore because of computer, cell phones. And very often when we want to write something, we forget how to write things because the Chinese letters, we got too many strokes.
Wow.
You may start which one first, which one the second. So the candidates, if they go into the building, and every candidate got a little space, partition. So you have 48 hours to finish your paper, given 3 meals a day. You got a little bed behind the table. You can sleep when you feel sleepy. But anyway, you got to finish your paper within 2 days, 2 nights time. And after that, the emperor would read all the paper. If the emperor thought your article beautiful, and you would be chosen as a high-ranking official. Okay, so all the young ones work hard to pass this one because once you pass, the whole family's life will be totally different. Okay, you are going to be a high-ranking official. You got a better pay. The whole family's life will be getting a lot better.
This is actually part of the water system of the palace area, this particular.
And one more thing I want to mention is if you turn around, you see the animals on the roof. And you may see different number of animals on the roof. And the more you see, that means the more important the building was. And we saw the #1 building with the Emperor's yellow throne, the dragon chair. That one got 10 animals. And for the other buildings, smaller buildings, got much less. Okay, so the animals, not real animals. That's all people's imaginations. At the very beginning, nothing on the roof, only nails to stop the tiles from sliding. But later, the nails were changed into the shapes of little animals. People believe these animals are living in the ocean. Why from the ocean? Once again, for
water.
Protection. Because the ocean stands for water. When the buildings catch fire, animals can bring water from the ocean to put it down. So that's another good hope of the common people. Building. That's a living chamber for most of the Ming Dynasty officials. Ming Dynasty emperors. And inside, actually, they have bedrooms on the 2 sides. And 24 beds in each room. Why that many? It's not really for 24 concubines at night. That's make it harder for people to find him. Imagine you want to kill the emperor, you get into the room, you have to make a decision which way to go. Even after you step into one of the bedrooms, so many beds, all the curtains dropped. Okay, so you don't know where the emperor was. So make it harder for the people, for assassins. So a lot of things were done for safety reasons. Why that? Because every emperor got a lot of brothers and uncles and power struggle thing. And so other people probably try to work together to get rid of you. So somebody else may take over, become a new ruler. Okay, so that's why every emperor got to think a lot about safety. Many people believe in the living quarters on the floor, look at the bricks. It's not only 1 layer of bricks, it should be 14 layers. 14 layers. Okay, so between every 2 layers should be sticky clay, something like sticky rice, put them together. Because in the old time, they didn't really use cement. And so why they did it? Just in case people make tunnels to get in here from underground. Okay, even you tunnel in, it's hard to come out because there are 14 layers of big bricks. So a lot of things done actually were for safety reasons. And further away, you'll see the pavilions on the top of the hill. Okay, so 5 pavilions altogether, but you don't see all 5. You can see only
Pavilion.
1, 2, 3 from this side. The other 2 are actually hiding behind those big buildings. They were built on a small hill. It's not a real one. It's artificial. Okay, where did the mountain or the hill come from? Do you remember the city modes? The city mode you saw before we came in. A lot of digging. Where did they put all the dirt or the clay? Over there, forming a small mountain. Why they did it? Once again, Chinese feng shui. Okay, emperors believe when they want a new home, new palace, better to have mountain at the back to block the bad luck from coming in. They have a river in the front to bring the good luck. But we don't have a real river in front, so that's why they have the city moat. The moat of the water actually comes from the summer palace. You are gonna see that on the last day. Okay, the water flows into the city from the beautiful lake in the summer palace, goes around the Forbidden City, and then go to the local river. So we do have a water system in Beijing, and along the water system, the canal, actually a lot of boats in the old time, Ming Dynasty, Qing Dynasty, to bring in all the supplies, including vegetables or the rice from southern China. So that's a hill. So after this Forbidden City, I'm supposed to take you into another park. That's where the hill is. Okay, so if you guys are still energetic, I'm gonna walk you to the top. See the pavilion on the very top. If you stand there, you can overlook the whole Forbidden City. Okay, so if you don't want to do it, you can stay in the lower section. So after 1 hour time, I'll see how many people can still do that. And now look to the other side. Around 10 o'clock direction, you'll see a beautiful pavilion, okay, and with dragons on the roof. That's one of the 4 watchtowers for the Forbidden City. So you see only one, but actually we have 3 more in the other 3 corners. Further away, you'll see a white color pagoda. That one is a Buddhist pagoda, also built on the top of a small hill. And around the hill, there's a beautiful lake. And on the other side of the lake, it used to be the palace buildings for Kublai Khan. Okay, Kublai Khan's palace buildings totally burned down by the Ming Dynasty emperors. After they overthrew the Yuan Dynasty, the emperors usually didn't want to see anything from the former dynasty. So that's why they burned everything down. And then they chose this place for building the Forbidden City. So the Ming emperors were here for more than 200 years. But when the Manchu people came in, they were smart. They didn't burn down the Forbidden City for building a new home. They simply moved in. Okay, so they really saved a lot of money, saved a lot of energy. So that's why. And today you still see the beautiful Forbidden City standing. Otherwise, if they burn this place down, probably you wouldn't see anything from Ming Dynasty in Beijing. So that's what I mentioned. What I mentioned actually, that's about all the buildings, in this area.
It's a tired group, but they're hanging together.
So you will see what the living quarter for the dragon.
And I think we are headed up here, if I understood him correctly. We're going there. Get ready for that. Can the Gracelanders make it?
Living quarter of the Dragon Lady. Okay, so if you want to see things, follow me, we go in. We'll be inside for 10 minutes, 15 minutes for the most. If you feel exhausted already, you don't want to go any further, just sit here. We'll be coming out the same door. Okay, we'll meet you and then we go to the garden. So now if you want to go, it didn't have only 1 yard like this. There are 2 more yards in the front. So the whole place belonged to one lady. And many yards on the 2 sides actually. Not all of them are identical in size, really depending on who they were. So the concubines were like officials. They got different ranks. So the higher rank ladies got a bigger yards, bigger rooms. Okay, you got more rooms all around. Lower ranking ones, they got a smaller courtyard. How to get promotion? Okay, concubines gotta give birth to babies. You give birth to a baby girl, you get a higher level. If you gave birth to a baby boy, and the rank would go straight up. So that's how the life would change for the ladies. So many ladies actually they were not that lucky, because every emperor had a lot of concubines, and after being selected, ladies move in. The emperor probably would never see the emperor for the second time in the whole life, because the emperor didn't really remember all of them. Okay, so but anyway, the dragon lady, she was lucky. So I'm not going to talk too much about her. And when we go to the summer palace, and on the last day, I'm going to tell you more about this lady.
There's the pagoda. It's getting closer. There's where we were. A lot of people. This is where we almost lost several Graceland people. The alleged 15-minute trek up didn't take us but 6. Catherine Greenberg was part of a group that said, I can do it. There's Laurie. And then the woman from Blue Heaven, Linda, Francis.
Good job.
Oh, look who's coming. The woman who wasn't sure she was coming. Gloria Scobie, who 24 years ago came to this great country and had the best experience of her life.
That's Lori.
I know that's Laura. You're
Oh, I
Gloria.
had the experience.
This is the view from the pagoda, the top of the hill. This is the Forbidden City and all that surrounds it. Look at the people who have come to the top to see this glorious look at a magnificent place. The Forbidden City. Oh my gosh. I love it. People are able to rent the costume and pretend that they're an emperor. One more look at this glorious scene up here. Very top pagoda. That is the temple. That is the Forbidden City. This is absolutely breathtaking. Graceland University. We came, we saw, we conquered. This is the other side of the pagoda. And the palaces, as we got towards the end of Forbidden City, the palaces where families lived with different emperors became less and less significant. Beijing. This is the garden that we ended up with. The end of our day, day one. An older couple together in the park, dancing, reveling, enjoying life. The older woman handling the music. I love it. China, 2018. What a country. And this is the Graceland group after day one. They're tired, but it's a good kind of tired. We put them through the ringer and then some. And this is the shot of the street. And families coming through on their bicycles. This is the way it is in China. Hi. Hi. Oh! My gosh, I thought somebody was coming the other way, Rex. Rex, what do you think of day one?
It's one-way street.
Give me a thought.
Good.
I think I enjoyed it. Did you?
It was full of good stuff.
Any blisters?
There might be one.
I've got one myself, and there they are. Bill, what'd you think of day one?
I think it was great.
Were you able to keep up? I think you were.
Yes, I did.
And look at this lovely lady peering behind your shoulder.
Yeah, it's my lovely
He wouldn't let me walk up there because,
So you feel held back by your husband.
well, I just had 2 shots in my hip last week.
So I think it was a good thing. And then Charles Greenberg, who is a veteran world traveler.
We're ready for dinner.
You are?
Peking duck.
Catherine, what'd you think?
Oh, it was fantastic. Perfect day.
Perfect day.
The breeze, magnificent. And the peony bushes. Oh, I've never seen so many.
And then, Sean, your take on day one.
It's great.
Is it what you hoped for?
Yes.
Do you feel like you have a handle on the Forbidden City?
Sure.
Weldon and Colleen Jordan are here. Colleen.
Fresh as a daisy.
Well, Jordan, tell me, what'd you think of day one?
Awesome. I could go home after day one. It's awesome.
Well, you stuck the words. Colleen.
Very fun. Lots of fun.
Did you at any time say to your husband, don't you ever bring me on a trip like this again?
No.
So here we are. We are wrapping up day one. We've had a nice bus ride. Several people took the opportunity to catch a few wings. And now, the much advertised, publicized Peking duck dinner. We've noticed that there seems to be less chatter amongst the group tonight. They seem to be tired. Howard Sakima, I think, had a conversation with his wife. He's happy he made the trip with Graceland. He was concerned about the leadership of yours truly. But I think we've proven after just one day, hey look, the airport thing didn't go so bad. The rooms are okay for the most part. Good shower pressure. I rate the shower nozzle on a scale of 1 to 10 on the Paul Davis scale of shower nozzles, a 10. Plenty of water. The hot water was very responsive, and I particularly enjoyed the wand.
Ours leaks.
Well, you need to report that to housekeeping.
No, actually, Cindy needs to learn how to use
Shower
the
thing goes down like that.
The duck is not here yet, but they're carving it outside, and I'll get some video for you. Look at the duck. This is the Peking duck. We're going to carve it up. Carve it up. They're laughing. This is what it looks like when the Peking duck has come out of the oven. And they are cutting it. They are cutting it very fast, and they know exactly what they're doing. I love it. Thank you, Shishay.
Mother in Chinese phonetic pinyin, we use MA, only 2-inch letters. Okay, MA, and then you got so many words, coming out, and then you pick up the one you want. And so actually it's not that difficult, but of course we have to learn, like the children have to learn the pinyin system, how everything works. Within 3 hours, if you are still going around on the road, another flash, you lose another 200. So that's how it works. You don't see a lot of officers on the road at all, because too many cameras everywhere. Officers simply sit in the office, watch the TV screen. They see all the roads, they see what's happening. And for minor traffic accident, if nobody getting injured, nobody getting killed, you don't call the police officer. What do? Get out of the car, take a picture with your cell phone, send the picture to the insurance company, and then go where we are. Call the police officer, call them. Because I got a lot of complaints from the American mother, and saying that something like my daughter didn't talk a lot at lunch table, dinner table, and never opened the gates from the parents. And eventually I have to make a phone call, international, long distance phone call, talking on the phone. I said, look, we do have difference between the different cultures. In China, when the children eat with us, we don't encourage them to talk too much. We usually, especially when they are small, we usually tell them, shut up when you eat, don't talk. Because when you are busy chewing, you have food in your mouth, the food comes out, that looks terrible. We usually do more talking, after lunch or dinner, sit there with a teapot, talk about everything. In China, we never open a gift in front of the giver. That's something implied, something rude. You take the present back home and you call back, say thank you, I love it. So that's really different from your way. In your country, you usually open it right there, right? And say, oh, beautiful, I like it. But in China, we never do it for life. But actually nowadays, it's just a way to start a conversation. They don't really care if you have eaten or not, but just a way to start. But they still follow the traditional way of asking questions. Have you eaten? So that's how the China was built more than 2,000 years ago by the emperor called Qin Shi Huang. Qin, Chinese spelling Q-I-N, but English spelling C-H-I-N. Sounds like Qin. That's the very first dynasty in China. Before the unification, and in China actually, this was not a unified country at the beginning. We had different kingdoms and in this country, different kings in the different areas, fighting against each other all the time, trying to enlarge their own territory, trying to have more farmland. After a few years fighting, eventually one of the states called Qin conquered all the other 6. So China became a unified country for the very first time. That king named himself Qin Shi Huang, which means first Qin emperor. That's the first emperor in this country. Okay, so he unified the country, he did a lot. He made all the terracotta warrior soldiers in Xi'an. So you are going to see that in the next city. He standardized the Chinese written language because before the unification, people wrote differently in different kingdoms, and he standardized the Chinese currency as well. And he built the first Great Wall in China. So one person did a lot of things. The first wall, the wall started from the sea. If you go to the seashore, you'll see the first tower of the Great Wall is still standing in the water, in the sea, and then finishes at the Gobi Desert. So something like 5,000 kilometers long. Okay, so why they build the wall? And just stop the other people from coming in. So in the Qing Dynasty, Han Dynasty, who were the minority people, nomadic people on the other side of the wall? The Hans, H-U-N-S. Have you ever heard of this name? Yes. The Hans. These people, like later Mongolians and Manchu people, horseback people, moving around all the time. They eventually went into Europe. They destroyed the Roman Empire. So those were the Hans. Okay, so the first emperor Qin Shi Huang, he put up the wall just to stop the Hans from coming in. Why fighting between the different people? Imagine the nomadic people living on the grassland. How do they make a living? They make a living by raising animals. And people on this side, agriculture people, will make a living by growing everything, rice, vegetables. But just imagine, what about when the nomadic people say, hey, I want some veggie, I want some rice. I don't want to eat meat all the time. So the easy thing to do, get on the horseback, come down to this area, grab whatever you want, run away. Okay, so that's why the wars broke out again and again. And eventually the final thing to do, you put up a wall and make sure these people would never come through. So that's why we have the first wall in China. And after the first wall built, the following dynasty was called the Han Dynasty. The wall was rebuilt, and then for the recent Chinese history, the Ming Dynasty rebuilt the wall. Okay, why the Ming emperors built the wall? Because of Mongolians on the other side. Okay, so for most of the people like us, we are going up to the mountain. We spend maybe a little more than 1 hour, 1.5 hours, just for walking around on the wall. So 1.5 hours usually enough for most of the people, because if you keep walking on the wall, you can be on the mountain for the whole day, for 5-6 hours. Some walking tours, some walking groups do spend a longer time on the wall, 7-8 hours, and most of the groups only 1 hour or 1.5 hours. So it seems to me the most important thing, doesn't matter how far you go, the most important thing, you get on the wall, you get the feeling, I'm in China, I'm on the wall. Okay, because so if you're energetic, you go further. If you're feel you cannot do a lot of walking or climbing, you don't have to go that far. Because yesterday some of you already asked me how much you have to walk. Once I take you onto the wall, it's really your own decision. You can go further, you can just do a little bit, 1 tower, 2 towers, and then you can sit somewhere, enjoy the view. So only a couple of years ago, the year 2008, I had a very special tour group, and they came to China. People spent the whole 2 weeks in China for climbing the Great Wall. They didn't go to the Forbidden City, Temple of Heaven, nothing. Every day walking on the wall. So there's around 70 people, and some of these people are so-called celebrities, movie stars. Actually, many of them, I don't know their names. But I did see some interesting names on the list at the beginning, like Jackie Chan. You know Jackie Chan? Jackie Chan from Hong Kong. And the other two, I remember those two who used to play in the movie Titanic, and they were on the list. And
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, that's one. What's the latest name? Kate Winslet. Yeah. So I saw their name, but eventually it didn't show up. And if I mention the tour leader's name, I think you all know her. It's a lady called Olivia Newton-John. Okay, so she came with a lot of movie star celebrities. Why they did the Great Wall climbing? They were actually for raising for money, fundraisers. And Olivia, I've heard she got breast cancer. So they try to get money to help people with cancer. So in the whole tour group, we did have people who already traveled with cancer. So every morning, Olivia would gather people in the hotel lobby and sing songs and cheer them up. Because you can imagine every day walking on the Great Wall, 20 kilometers a day, really, really exhausting. Okay, we started from the sea, the very beginning of the wall, and we covered a part, come up the mountain. The next day we go to another mountain for another section. In your imagination, probably many of you still think the whole Great Wall today is still long, continuous, but not anymore. Okay, so actually it's many, many broken pieces. So the wall today we are going to climb, it's renovated in 1970s. If no renovation, it's impossible for you guys to go up. Because when I went around with Olivia, and very often many parts no renovation. You don't see steps. You have to climb up like mountain goats. Bushes growing on the wall. You have to go around, try to find a path. Sometimes you keep walking, suddenly no more wall, it's a cliff. So we had to use a ladder to go down the mountain. So it's really interesting but a very exhausting trip. And only after that trip, I realized the Great Wall in China looks very different from place to place. And here in Beijing, in the mountains, you're going to see the strongest wall in China. Because what they use for building the Great Wall, granite stones at the bottom, huge bricks, on the top, on the two sides, and then rammed earth in the middle. But when we go to the middle China, one of the provinces called Shaanxi Province, Yellow Plateau area. When you got there, no rocks, no stones, only yellow dirt, yellow clay. So the wall there was only a clay wall. Imagine a clay wall, if no renovation, only 5-10 years time, everything will be washed away by rainwater, by wind. So when we go to the desert, imagine the Gobi Desert, once again, no big rocks, no big stones. So what they did, tree branches, willow tree branches, one layer, and then small stone pebbles and sand, one layer, and then tree branches again. So that's how they put up the wall in the desert. So the whole thing, Ming Dynasty Great Wall, altogether, after the new ground survey done by the government a couple of years ago, something like 8,000 kilometers. So that's around maybe 6,000 miles. Okay, so the Ming Dynasty wall is not only one wall. In many mountains, they do have the second wall, even the third wall. So why they did it? Because those double walls or the triple walls usually built in the lower mountain valleys. Imagine Mongolian people on horseback, when they want to come through the mountains, they never try to go over the mountain top. They try to find a lower section to break through. So in some of the lower mountain valleys, the emperor put up the second wall, even the third wall, to make sure the Mongolians never, could never come through.
This is the Welcome Center at the Great Wall of China. We've driven 2 hours to the north of Beijing. This is a less congested section of the Great Wall. It's supposed to be for folks who want a little bit better experience. This is the actual name of the section that we will be taking in today. Mountains in the distance. We are in the mountains. And this is the entranceway that will funnel us to the initial walk and then the shuttles and then a cable ride, I believe, up to the top. Rex Waller has been saying for many, many weeks that this is the stop on this trip that he's most looking forward to. I'm having a little bit of trouble deciphering the ticket information. It's a good thing our tour guide is handling that transaction. This is the long walk that we had to take after we got off the first shuttle bus. A very significant climb. You can see Eileen Kelly, Charles Greenberg, lots of shop owners on the side of the road here. Cafe here. Another nice little business owner has something going on there. I bet you it's a hotel. Great Wall of China. Who would have thought? We have made it to the top of the first segment of the walkway. By Byron and Jane are here. And that means hail, hail, the gang's all here. There's Harry, our fearless tour guide. Here's the group still left after day one. The Graceland excursion. There is a fallout rate of at least 3 of you will not be here by the end of the 13 days on the ground.
I won't be here, that's for sure.
Rex, you've got to be awfully excited today. You told me months ago that this is why you came. What are your thoughts right now?
I'm almost there.
This is where we're headed, to the top of the mountain.
You can't get through.
We're going up there, ladies and gentlemen.
Done that already in New Mexico.
Just don't understand what she does. We had an agreement. Bye, guys. Any famous last words? We had agreed that us 4 were going to get on.
Well, but that's not what...
Here's Evelyn, my wife.
You can do it, sweetheart.
I just wanted to make trouble, that's all.
Is it? No. There's just like a scratch behind you.
Like, you married him.
Mom, you picked him, Mom.
That's what mine says.
There's some commentary going on here. Andy.
Yeah, make sure you get the commentary.
Ow, that's my toe.
That no one feels sorry for Evelyn because she chose you.
He was so different.
What, he was quiet and shy? I don't think so. How was he different, Evelyn? Make sure you tape this.
Remember, as my nursing home administrator said,
What?
all people don't turn into nice old men and nice old ladies. They get slower.
There it is.
And
There it is.
more so. Or whatever so is. More so, whatever it is. So it wasn't quite as...
That would be the Great Wall.
Gosh, if we walk down there, we got to walk up there.
I'm going up first, I think.
We might be at the up.
This is the almost at the top tavern that sits here at the base of the almost at the top Great Wall. Isn't that cool? And there's the woods, and in the distance the mountains. Yet another path upward and onward. The Graceland group to travel. Graceland has made it.
The meeting plan, wherever it is, tell you how to do the wall planning.
On the stem for the picture.
Yeah, you can start on different levels.
Yeah, we'll just...
After all my life, textbooks in elementary school, this is the real deal. The Great Wall. It is a hazy day. Don't know that it's smog, but it's very impressive. The scenery up here. And this is looking outside the first little stop along this section of the Great Wall. Notice the graffiti has made its way from the west to this inner chamber. And I imagine names from all around the world. Look, right here, Newfoundland.
The Lascaux caves have graffiti too, Paul.
What, pardon me?
The Lascaux caves in France.
Oh, does it? Look, there's writing on the little wall here. Ceiling, I mean.
The original graffiti from thousands of years ago.
You're kidding me. Looking out the door to the walkway. And then in the distance, more of the Great Wall. It is impressive. There's no doubt about it. Another wall station over there. Breathtaking. The labor, the hours of labor it took to construct this. These families want proof that they made it. Sean Layton, the crazy guy is Weldon Jordan. I called him Jordan.
Crumb cake.
Linda DeBarth, Colleen Jordan, who's been very quiet, very polite on this trip. Really enjoying her company. This woman getting pictures with her phone. Shaanxi. Going down the stairs, you have to be careful. There have been accidents up here. We don't want to talk about them. But you just can't run down these stairs. You can see why some of our group was a little apprehensive about coming to the Great Wall. I almost fell myself right there. So now, you go up more steps to get to the different upper sections of the Great Wall. It's kind of tricky walking along these steps, kind of screwy. We've been told that the original Great Wall is much lower at the foundation, down here. This is another one of those, I would call it a halfway station building. Not quite sure what you call it. Here we have a family from Germany getting some good pictures. That is outside the window of one of the portals. Gorgeous green. Very gorgeous. And then just a little walking tour of this, this building that you get. Every few hundred yards you get a new one to go in and get cool, and it's kind of cool, kind of neat. I don't know what you'd call it in here.
If I stay here, will some man come and propose to me? Yes. It's not me who proposed.
You don't have to stay long.
We discovered that there is a walkway up this way. People are coming down. Is it a good shot up there? Good?
Very good.
Very good? Very good. Thank you.
Lots of people coming down.
Nice gentleman helping Gene Holmes up. Gene Holmes and I have found. This is a very interesting perch up here. What is this guy doing? He's really enjoying himself.
Enjoying.
Good.
Very enjoying.
Thank you.
This good.
There come the Huns.
It's not easy going down, I'll tell you that.
For the next one and then.
Oh yeah, it was almost purple.
Is carried to us, her fame throughout the land. Rock, 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 Graceland College, we're all for you. Strong, united, loyal, and true.
We'll carry on. We can forever you. And there you have it, the first time in history that the Graceland Forever song has been...
Walking up all those stairs, there's not much air left.
In case you're wondering in this video, that is Linda Franzese from North Carolina.
Originally, Linda Hilker, then Linda Howard, and now I'm Linda Franzese.
And I was Cindy Howard, and now I am Cindy Campbell.
Cindy Campbell, a wonderful woman. This is the king of Indonesia.
Can we take a picture together?
Yes. Can I ask you a question or two first on video? A question?
What?
So how are you doing? Are you enjoying China?
Yeah, I'm just looking the tourist destination in China. Just holiday, yeah.
How are things in Indonesia? How is your country doing?
I am from Cirebon, from Indonesia, and
this is your lovely wife?
Yes, the queen.
The queen?
Yeah.
Welcome, welcome. We're visiting from USA and the state of Iowa.
Iowa. Okay.
Small state.
Oh,
small population.
From University Iowa.
No. A smaller school.
Small school.
Christian school.
Oh, okay.
Graceland.
Welcome in China.
Oh, I'm loving it. We got here 2 days ago. We did the Tiananmen Square. We did the Forbidden City and the temple. We were wore out.
Yeah.
Very tired.
Yeah, it's a long day.
Very tired.
Yeah.
So is this the first time you've seen the GreatAll? You?
Yeah, first time in.
Very what's your thoughts?
Wow,
amazing.
Wow, amazing.
Awesome.
And would you help me? What is your name so I can put it on my camera?
My name is Sultan Sepuh 14, Prince of Arif Nata Diningrat from Kaspuan Palace, from Cirebon City. West Java Province, Indonesia.
Okay. And well, thank you for taking the time.
Okay.
Be very careful.
Oh.
I'm first.
Yeah, today.
Yeah.
I think that's the tradition in our country, maybe.
Yes.
Well, nice to meet you. Your first name is?
Angie.
I'll tell Harry that Angie says hello. Down in there is the lucky bird of China. There's one. It's a name for that bird. I don't remember it. You're watching this video, you'll remember the name that Harry gave us. It's a pretty bird. And here's a section where you actually walk down stairs, as this gentleman's doing, and then you come back up. And you can see there's a nice slope here to get up that way. And there's where I was. Well, 100 yards away now. Not. Uh-oh. Fun on the Great Wall. It's pretty exhilarating being up here. You've got to be in a little bit of shape. You hear all kinds of different languages. Obviously, people from all over the world.
You can see us?
And look who I've spotted. She decided to wear a bright shirt today, and that's turning out to be a good thing. That would be Evelyn. Oh, and she's taking not the stairs, but the the different path they have, and I think it's easier.
I did it on last Friday.
There she is. She's a bird. Evelyn Conrad. If I know her, she went all the way to the top.
No, I was okay. I was okay. I was.
So what do you really think about your husband?
I made it to almost the top.
She went far.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. All right. Weldon, give me the report. You've been traveling with my wife.
Awesome.
Give me. You were just telling me some things you were bragging about.
This is what we came all the way this far for.
You feel that
right
way?
Here. And it's great.
What would you think, Colleen?
Really nice, beautiful views.
Well, we come with expectations and visuals and, things that we think about over our lives, and then we get to see something. Has it lived up to?
Oh yeah, very much so.
And that stretch your wife climbed right there, Evelyn.
I don't believe
insane. It's insane.
All the way up, almost halfway up there, Ev, huh?
Yes, you did.
Well, where did I go?
Give me see your face. Let me see if you're still alive. How was it? You do look flushed, though.
Well, I'm hot.
It's not easy. Okay, let's make it way
Where
back.
did I go? Right to that halfway part?
Right.
Ah,
The blue umbrella.
I wanted to make it to the next.
All right. Well, maybe next time we come, hon.
I was running out of time.
Graceland University does the Great Wall.
Graceland departs the Great Wall. Here we go, and the cable is now approaching.
1973 is
They say this first thing. Oh, this is
when we
kind
didn't
of
get married
scary.
for 11 years.
Oh my Lord!
We got married
Yeah,
September
this is
2nd.
the kind of thing that people with
With what?
like heights.
Like you?
Yeah, coming up is no problem.
You should be sitting here. You
I should be
wanna
sitting,
sit?
no problem. Oh no,
It's less than a minute ride.
and I'm in the gondola. Again, this is way better than at ski lift.
In Albuquerque, it's supposed to be the world.
Well, Gloria, what'd you think?
It's like if you've ever been anywhere other than Dubuque, this is not impressive.
You had a vision or you had a thought process
It
of
was
what
like-
this place was going to be like.
Yeah, it
the
was
wall.
like-
Now you've seen it. What would you
And
say?
it was very similar to what we saw 4 years ago, and
we were
it
staying
was great.
in
The steps were steeper.
A bed and breakfast for
And-
so it
and I had to take my glasses
but there
off
was also stairs.
because the
I was like, we'll
trifocals
just
made the
walk down.
steps hard to see.
Really?
Yes.
And then your daughter Laurie is next to you. Of course, this is a very special 13 days for her. It's not like she's really retracing, her first couple of days on the planet, but there is something going on inside of her because she was born here. Laurie, share with me your thoughts.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
You're home.
But obviously, you're an American coming to visit a foreign country that just happened to be the place of your birth.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? Okay. I think he's got a future. Eileen Kelly. She said she could do it, and she has.
What I want to know is where's the guy that said he had my back? There was no one behind me.
We realized
What happened if I had fallen and I couldn't get up? There was no one to rescue me.
So we're down, and this is where the shuttle buses come to the bottom, and our bus is ahead. There's some good-looking trees up on the hill. I thought I'd get a shot of it. And these other people are deplaning. One lady is a Yankee fan. There you go. Boo Yankees. Vendors everywhere you see as we come down. And there's Rex. He's striking a deal right now.
We got it. Hello, make it eat. Hello.
Rex said he had to have a picture of the wall. He's got it. Look at the vendors. As far as the eye can see, and then over here. Wow. Just amazing. Well, it's not really a vendor. These people are making a living. So I can't say that this is, surprising. It's not.
USA.
What do you all think of
China really democracy, not America. America,
all right.
no. I have a friend.
What do you think of Donald Trump?
No good. I have a friend who stay in the United States. He take picture for the black people. The black make him angry. He rob the cell phone and threw away. Not friendly. But China is okay.
What are you selling?
You like a T-shirt.
What do you have?
You like a T-shirt.
What do you have?
Sir, you try. Give you a picture.
Why is she shy? Tell her not to be shy. What is your name? They all run from me. They run from me. Lots of vendors, and then there's two Americans. Sean and Linda DeBarth.
Admiring the petite.
Yes. Lunch. Lunch after the Great Wall. After lunch, the Jade Store. Pretty interesting place.
To make the details. Yeah, and the water can lower down the temperature, clean the dust. But after carving, it's not finished. They do many times polishing until color comes out. Color is very important. Yeah. And when you see the bulb, they don't get used to wearing the mask. Yeah, if winter time they wear a mask, but summer is too hot, they don't wear it. So that's why. This is to me, sir. This is not lung cancer, okay? Yeah, and there is a green on top, and the one there also. Says, well, you see the green. Guaranteed part of the day. And the inside is right on the
We have left the Jade shop and heading back down into Beijing to see the Olympic venues. I thought it would be nice to see some of the buildings heading back into the city. I'm noticing some metal roofs on some of these buildings.
That's a building near the Olympic Stadium. And used to be the media center when we had Olympics. A lot of media people stay there and for more than 1 month's time. And we'll look at the whole thing. The top of the building looks like a dragon head. Okay, so use your imagination. Does it look like something else? Some other people said it looked like Olympic torch. So different people got different imagination. But nowadays, that's a office building. And further to the left, we look at the tall building. To the left, you can see 4 smaller buildings. And these 5 buildings standing together represent a dragon. So dragon head, dragon body. 2 of the 4 buildings, and they are apartment buildings. And the last 2 on the left, hotel buildings. Okay, 7-star hotel. And that's the name of the hotel, 7-star. Okay, but from the name you can tell it's a very luxury hotel. And I've never been inside, but I heard from my colleague this is very beautifully decorated. A lot of foreigners stay there, and when they had the Olympics. But nowadays I think a lot of business people stay in there. And when we had the Olympic Games in the year 2008, this area actually was not densely populated. So that's why the government chose this place for the stadiums, because it's easier to move people away. A lot of people just stay in small, shabby-looking buildings. The government talked to them. Walk in for pictures. You can go with me, and we'll be spending a few minutes over there before we nails. And that's observation tower. People can go up in elevators and sit down there, enjoy the view. Okay, now you see how many people, a lot of Chinese actually are going there to take pictures. And we are not going...
Look at all the people coming to see the Olympic venues. And that woman right there, where are you from? USA. USA. Good to see you. I did not cross the street. And I'm now getting pictures taken all over the place. Everybody wants their picture with me. And there's the group. This is crazy. Them looking at the picture, wondering who is that. This is very interesting. I mean, the Olympics were back in 2008, and still you have all of this interest in the venues. The Chinese people are very proud about what their government did. Hello. Hello. It's a job. Interesting light poles here.
Look at that building square. That's a swimming center. I mentioned Michael Phelps. Got many gold medals for swimming. That's right in there. Okay? The local people call it bubbles. Bubbles. Now you know why. Because look at the beautiful decorations on all the different sides. Look like air bubbles. And this place is very busy every day because of the pool still there. But half of the building turned into water park for children, for kids.
Oh, neat.
So just imagine how many children we have. Okay, so the grandparents, many of them take children there. They can be there the whole day. So that place makes a lot of money every year, but this place, unfortunately, they don't really make money. Occasionally they try to get big fishes, like Pavarotti, Domingo, famous singers. They come for a concert, expensive tickets, but you cannot do that every day. Very occasional. And also sometimes they have a basketball match here, but not every day. Because we don't have that matches in this country. Also, I think it's probably, not a low price for the room. So that's why most of the time it's empty. But in winter, they turn the whole thing into a skating rink. Okay, local young people can go skate. Because in the city itself, you have nowhere for skating. So this is the place. Otherwise, people have to go to the summer planning. We are going there on the last day. For the train journey, they have a big lake. Okay, when the lake frozen in winter, biggest skating ground in the whole city. So we have 2 places for skating.
There's the Sakima group. It's good to have them on this trip. That thing.
等会儿啊，哎，看了。
可凭本人有效证件供参观优惠，1.2米以下儿童、70周岁以上老人、残疾人，可凭本人有效证件享受供参观优惠，1.2米。
Where are you going?
70周岁以上老人、可凭本人有效证件享受供参观免票。
Hey, hello. 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 Parents are not bashful, but their child is. He's frightened. He's frightened by the camera. These are the flowers we've been seeing all around Beijing. It's just unbelievable. 欢迎您来到奥林匹克公园参观游览，神鸟万物，竭诚为您服务。Tell me what your name is.
Hello, I'm Bochen.
Good to see you. Hello to you too.
享受公参观优惠，1.2米以下儿童、70周岁以上老人、残疾人，可凭本人有效证件享受公参观。
I think they're gorgeous, and what they show is, I think, how we can get along. It's beautiful. If you look at all the people that are around here, it's just amazing, and there's just so much peacefulness here. Cindy is over there, and the tree's doing Tai Chi to the beautiful music that's being played just gently in the background, and it's such a nice place to be. I wasn't sure if I was going to like it either, but it's really incredible.
Time for traffic. It's that time of night. Beijing traffic. People just like us.
我最后你们大家有好的想象啊！这中间呢是黄路走的啊，两边是大着走的，想走哪条走哪条吧。
Hello. Where are you all from? China? China?
你好，你好，打个招呼。你好。
I'm from Henan.
USA.
now we come back to the third ring road. So you see how the traffic is like. So that's why I said you don't have to worry, you're gonna have dinner in 5 minutes. And this is about the time everybody rushing back home. And some people are probably on the way to the restaurants, having parties with friends. And talk about the evening life. Actually, Beijing's evening life also very colorful. In Beijing, we have a lot of cinemas, theaters as well. So the people that go for watching operas, Chinese opera, Western opera, and also we have a lot of karaoke bars. Whenever you see purple, that means this is the bus lane only for buses, including city buses or tour buses during the rush hours, like in the morning from 7 to 9, in the evening from 5 to 8, some of the roads 5 to 7. And for the private cars, you are not supposed to drive, be on this lane at the wrong time. That's why you don't see the private cars. If the private cars goes along this lane at the wrong time, a flash, the same thing, you lose 200 yuan. Okay, and so that's another thing. The government encourages people to use public transportation. For rush hour, if you take the public bus, city bus, you go home faster. If you drive your own car, you're gonna get stuck in the traffic jam for longer.
They've got a lot of interesting architecture here.
Really interesting stuff.
Yeah. It's not mundane, that's for sure.
What are the average wages here?
It looks okay to us. And a lot of international famous, the architects came to Beijing, came to China. They gave their design to the Chinese government, and if the government likes it, and they put the building on. So now we do have a lot of more, interesting and nice looking buildings in many different cities. Another famous guy called I.M. Pei, you know him?
Yes.
I.M. Pei, yeah, he has quite a few buildings in China, especially in Hong Kong. And a very famous guy, and he has done a good job. But the only thing is he always spent too much money, more money than the budget. And
second day, we've got one more meal to enjoy. This is going to be a special meal.
It's called Hotpot.
What's it called?
Hotpot.
Hotpot, where we're going
Kind of the Chinese version of fondue.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Fondue. How about stone soup?
It's not soup. That's what we talked about.
Hey, this is cute.
What you don't have. This is already tasty. This too.
Seems to be a little bit of confusion and consternation.
What is this?
It's something different, and it's thrown the group off.
I was really concerned, but I think this is going to be a good deal.
James Taylor gives it a thumbs up.
No, sesame sauce.
Sesame is that over there?
What is this? If you want to something spicy, you can add some pepper. You don't need to put everything in, no?
Wendy is a major leader over at Smart Tours. She is Harry's boss, and she came here special tonight to make sure that this meal went fine, because heaven knows we really haven't eaten all that well on the trip. So we needed a meal that really drove it home.
Yeah, because usually we don't bring groups, we eat hot.
You really usually don't bring groups.
It's complicated, you know.
But it's because we're smaller group that we're able to do
because
it.
you are smart groups.
Oh,
you are smart enough.
I hope so. I'm having some questions here about some of the Graceland people.
Yeah. This is vinegar.
They can't tell me how.
Have you looked in your pot yet? There's some shrimp in some of them.
It's got mine in. Because mine's too dip.
Oh, you got. This is called Hotpot. It's a new experience for all of us.
Did you eat it?
What do you think, Janet?
Well, sweet.
You don't get this down to Texas. You can throw your food in.
We got lots of shrimp.
What's in there?
Oh, I've got a shrimp.
Yes, you do.
I've got 2 shrimp. I'm not sure what else. Are those those are onions? Okay. Oh, it's a treasure hunt.
It is a. Very interesting. Very interesting. This is called
Witch's Brew.
Now that's Weldon. That's the best name I've heard so far. This is the scene as Hotpot winds down. Linda from North Carolina. Evelyn from all over. You can see that their pots are almost empty. Yes, ma'am. Here I come. Yes. Rex, I trust what your opinion's going to be. What'd you think of that?
I said I just figured out why I never see any fat Chinese.
Good point.
How good I'm getting.
Barb did real well. And then we go over to here to Gloria and Charles. Charles, critique this experience.
It is unique.
Yes, it is, brother. You've been all over the world, too.
I'm glad we had a big lunch.
Byron, I trust your opinion. How would you rate this experience tonight?
Very good. Yeah.
Good, good. And then, good, Sean.
It was fun. We enjoyed it. Byron and I enjoyed investigating the various mushrooms together.
I hope it was a good, fruitful experience.
It was very educational.
Well?
It was very, very good.
Sue, Howard?
Very good.
Okay.
Numero uno.
Oh, good, good, good.
Unique, but delish.
That's good. Okay, here we go. Jean?
Yes, sir.
When was the last time you had Hotpot?
This is my very first experience.
How was it?
I loved it. It's like a beef fondue,
Yes.
and all the sauces were fantastic.
What about you, Lori? We don't get this in Kansas City, do we?
No, we don't.
Look at her pot's still going. And your daddy's over here. And then the last opinion. And dare I even ask the question?
No, I actually have. We have Mongolian restaurants in Reno. I've had Hotpot. So
thank you, Eileen.
it's just messy, but we get forks there.
Yes, forks would be important. Day 2 is in the books. It's been an interesting experience at the Hotpot. A young man from Davis, California has come with his wife Colleen, and I think they're very impressed with how Graceland does things. And look at these young women here. What are you guys doing? You're what? You work here? Huh?
Let's take a graffiter.
Hi, hello.
Yeah, graffiter. 你拍张照。
那给我拍一个。
Graffiter.
Hello.
Waitress, waiter.
里面是吗？
Yeah, you work in there.
好。
Good to see you. Very good meal. Thank you.